It is impossible to overstate the importance of independence on the part of any investigative body, and that is particularly true when you're talking about investigative bodies, whether they're the Public Corruption Unit in my office or something like the Moreland Commission, for there to be independence. Without independence, the public does not trust what investigations are taking place, does not trust what prosecutions are brought, does not trust what results are gotten from those investigations and prosecutions.
And that the U.S. Attorney Preet Bharara, and he was speaking out about his probe into Governor Cuomo's disbandment of the Moreland Commission on the Brian Lehrer show. That was back in April. Bharara addressing allegations that there may have been interference from the governor's administration with the commission's work. Now, he is not letting up in any way when it comes to this probe, and just recently he addressed former members of the commission, threatened to take them to court if there was any interference or tampering involved with its work. Governor Cuomo has repeatedly defended his reasons for ending the Corruption Commission. He even told Crain's New York, and I think this is the one quote here that if you wanted to have back, it's this one. He said, "The Moreland Commission was my commission," going on to say, "It's my commission, my subpoena power, my Moreland Commission. I can appoint it, I can disband it, I can appoint you, I can unappoint you tomorrow. So interference, it's my commission. I can't interfere with it because it is mine, controlled by me." Doesn't sound so similar to what the governor recently said, where last week he called the Moreland Commission an unqualified success.
Moreland Commission was a phenomenal success. It generated all sorts of interest in the behavior of the legislature. It brought all sorts of cases that have actually come to fruition. And it was, I believe, the stimulus to get the ethics reform bill passed that we got passed.
Now remember, the governor also said at different stages of this that this was a completely independent commission with no oversight from the governor's office. In fact, he said they can investigate him and his administration in this. That contrary to what you just heard in the Crain thing. However, Bill, there's one thing with, maybe the guy pulled the plug on it too soon. And another thing where the U.S. Attorney, unsolicited, got involved in this on jump the day after the budget was signed, and in the midnight hour the commission pulled. He was right on this thing. So let's all agree he's a smart guy. Let's all agree that he has ambitions, probably beyond his current office. You don't take on Governor Cuomo here unless you think there's something there. Am I right about that? Because you've dealt with U.S. attorneys before. You know how the offices work. If there's no pony at the end of this thing, it looks bad on Bharara.
Well, let's go back to Christie-gate. The U.S. attorneys from New Jersey and New York, investigating Governor Christie because of the George Washington Bridge. And at that time when I was on your show, I said... But
if I could, just one thing on that, Bill. That really was borne out by an investigative reporting piece. The Bergen Record did, the Times picked up, and everything else. The law enforcement side, if you want, they came in after that in the investigations. On this one, commission shut down. The first voice we heard was Bharara saying it doesn't smell right.
Yeah, but going back to Christie-gate, when I was on your show, I indicated then that as far as I was concerned, there was no federal violation here. Okay, and that was even a stronger issue because it affected commerce. Look, what the U.S. Attorney says about public trust, all of that is absolutely true. There'll be political fallout in all likelihood based upon the governor's disbanding of this commission. But the fact of the matter is there's a wide separation between issues of public trust and culpability, criminal liability. If he had political motives in disbanding this commission, that does not translate into his violating federal laws to the extent where he could be prosecuted, or for that matter, state law. Now, what I've done is I've taken a look at all of the obstruction statutes, okay, that would be the potentials. Not one of the obstruction statutes has anything at all to do with what he did here with the Moreland Commission.
Then it begs the question, Bill, and I've heard other people say the same thing as you, why is Bharara not only sticking his nose in, but doubling down on this?
Well, I'll tell you why. Because let's not lose sight of the fact that from everything we've heard, the commission did turn over information to the U.S. Attorney's Office. Now, let's just suppose that in the course of the commission's work, it had allegations of criminal conduct which would rise to the level of a federal violation as well as a state violation. And they turned all of that information over to the U.S. Attorney. Well, he could be investigating whatever those allegations were with a view towards maybe bringing cases against those who were the targets of those allegations.
Right.
That doesn't mean, Bharara has not come out and said he's investigating the governor for the disbanding of this commission. He's right. When you appoint a commission, you give the commission certain power. The public has trust in it. You abuse the public's trust if you pull the rug out before the commission's had a chance to do its work. As much as you may not like what Governor Cuomo said about it being his commission, the fact of the matter is legally he is correct.
Okay, which still begs the question, Andrew, the forum that Bharara chose. He could have had a problem saying, hey, you know what? We're getting somewhere with this thing. Why are you pulling the plug on it? But he chose to go public. He's done radio over this. We're trying to set up an interview with him as we speak right now. He's chosen a very public forum to question, in effect, the integrity of the administration in the timing that they pulled the plug on this, and also telling everybody in the commission, you better not do anything else here. Do not interfere with any of my investigations. Again, I still haven't heard the reason why Bharara would do all this if he just thought there might be something.
Well, first of all, I don't think he said point blank, don't go altering my investigations. I think he said if some of the statements that you're getting from the Moreland Commission members rises to the level of interference, we're going to look into that. It wasn't as direct a threat from Bharara to Cuomo as I think you might have implied. I don't know why Bharara is taking the public strategy that he has. We know, as you said, that he has political interests of his own, and that he's sowing the seeds for a potential future in politics for himself if he chooses to go that route. I don't know, and I'm not sure anybody knows but Bharara, except maybe to keep his name publicly going around.
Bill, you made a point, and actually I should source Richard Brodsky, whose ears are probably burning somewhere, that there is one other element to this, and that was the deputizing of the commission.
There are a couple elements. This was not Governor Cuomo's commission. A Moreland commission, by statute, is allowed to investigate the executive branch, not the legislative branch. But the governor wanted to effectively blackmail the legislature to go with, and I use that. I use that
characterization here, all right,
for lack of a better word. He wanted to encourage strongly the legislature to go along with him legislatively.
Again,
so he wanted to investigate the legislature. Moreland's not allowed to do that. So what he did was he went to the Attorney General, Eric Schneiderman, and he had him deputize all the commissioners. Once they were deputized, they became Deputy State Attorneys General. That makes it a separate thing than Moreland.
And do you believe that's a distinction with a difference?
It's very important.
I don't. I mean, if what you're saying is correct and you carry it through to its logical conclusion,
it's correct. Yeah.
Then when he disbands the commission, those people are still Deputy Assistant Attorney Generals. Okay, so then Schneiderman can do whatever work he wants to do. The fact is that he. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say the trouble is that there's not a special state prosecutor looking at possible violations of state law, and the reason is that Schneiderman can't do that because Schneiderman was involved in Moreland. The district attorneys that were on Moreland are also involved in it, so they have to be recused. Only the governor can appoint a special prosecutor, and the governor won't do that. So a governor is going to be above state law at the end of the day.
Has Schneiderman requested that the governor appoint a special prosecutor?
He should. He should.
Has he?
Schneiderman won't address it. He won't talk about this, and neither will the governor. Neither one will talk about Moreland.
But that's not Cuomo. That's Schneiderman. Look, what I'm saying to you is, whatever the motivation, okay, it does not translate. Worst case scenario, it does not give rise to federal criminal liability.
Yeah, Tim Wu, who's lieutenant governor candidate, Democrat, is a respected Columbia University law professor. He believes that at least 4 laws were broken by the Cuomo administration, state laws. Rob Astorino has suggested that another state law was broken. The only one that can investigate that is a special state prosecutor, and we're not getting one. And we're not getting one is because Andrew Cuomo won't appoint one because it's looking at himself. Once you do that, you're above the law.
You know, you're saying the governor won't appoint one. He may not be doing it on his own initiative, but the point is the Attorney General can ask the governor to appoint one. See, that's a question you got to direct to Schneiderman, not to the governor.
Well.
Oh, you got to be careful when you throw around complicit and blackmail and everything else. I like throwing around the ball. But my God, you're lobbing him with both hands.
No, but it looks like Schneiderman had a very public lunch with Preet Bharara, so let's assume that he's perhaps working with a U.S. attorney.
Oh. What am I doing? I'm reaching. Okay, coming up next, we've delved into the digging. After the break, we're going to take a look at the political aspect of this Moreland probe, if I can do this in English. The governor's Republican challenger, Rob Astorino, is getting in as many shots And Bill's taking the cue, I can see as well here, to go after the governor. The question is this going to work? We'll be right back.